Hi guys, welcome to another episode of On the Floor. I have my big sister, a celeb writer, award-winning writer. I think I will. She's like
won an award.
She has won an award, so I'm accurate. I asked ChatGPT and they put that up about you.
Oh really?
I was like, can you tell me something about Dami Elebe? And they were like, oh, she's an award-winning Nigerian. Better go and copy and paste. So that when you're giving your biography out, you say ChatGPT says award-winning Nigerian scriptwriter, storyteller. Major works are Far From Home. They're really giving me your full details. And they put that I recently got married. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So
Yeah, and they put your husband's name there.
that's beefy land.
I'm serious. I will show you. I've went by laptop. I'll show you after. And I was like, this is a bit too personal. Yes, so they put everything there.
But anyway, it's not their fault. I mean, things are on social media.
Yes, so
as well.
But yeah, I'm so happy that you are here today. Appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, how do I know Dami? Dami is my family friend. End of story.
That's
Like,
all. There's
that is
nothing
it.
more.
I've known her all my life. There's
nothing more.
There's no special, exactly. There's no special story. There's no meet cute. There's no special encounter. Our parents decided to be friends, and then they gave birth to us, and then
friends.
exactly. So if you notice, there are sometimes online I talk about some of my big sisters. This is one of them. I disturb them. I frustrate them. It is my job. It's my sole duty as their younger sibling, Shesia, Taiwo, Princess, and Dami. That's pretty much my work, is to disturb and frustrate them.
Thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Yeah. So I know you didn't sign up for it in life, but well, it's part of your life
I
too.
guess so.
Okay. So today, as some of you probably know, since I'm a celeb, so very happy with myself right now that I've been able to recruit such a high-profile person to come on the podcast. Why are you laughing like this? I'm feeling very proud of myself. I am very high profile, as they said, award winning writer to come on the pod. And one of the things that I really wanted to discuss with you or pick your mind is about a couple of things. So your faith, because I know that you're a Christian, obviously, and how that ties into the movie industry, entertainment industry, because I know that those are two worlds that can either work together or they can sort of clash a lot. And then we're going to move on to like self-confidence, because as you can see, both of us are quite full women. Fact.
Well, full options.
Yes.
American's fake.
Did you say full options? We are very options. American's fake. Yeah. So we're going to talk about that, our experiences growing up, how that was, all the mean aunties, some mean uncles, all that stuff.
Okay.
We will not be mentioning any aunties.
Names.
However, if any aunties watch this and think that we are talking about you,
If the shoe fits.
if the shoe fit, I take God beg you, it's not me, it's her. Okay? So So yeah, no, I'm really happy. Honestly, this has been
we've been talking about doing this podcast, or talking about me being on your podcast, which well, now we're here.
Yeah, and I'm very happy. So I'm thankful.
Let's discuss.
Fine. Okay. So my question is, as somebody who creates these amazing stories, you are sort of, I would say, the premise, because you are the one writing this, so you are putting this out for all of us to watch, and we binge on them, we take it in, and it has the power. In fact, it has the power to affect society in so many different ways. Media is always a tool. If you want to get something done, whether you're a politician or you are somebody of influence and you want to get something done, oftentimes you find that they partner with the entertainment industry, because that's a way to, I guess, get things done, effect change people's mindsets and all of that. So with your faith journey and with your line of work, how have you found that challenging? Because, for example, the Bible says, oh, don't do this, or don't show things like LGBT, or, women, showing themselves in a particular way, men being promiscuous and everybody thinks, so, different things. How do you feel a sense of guilt, or how do you try to balance it? Like, how does it affect you in any way, shape, or form?
I mean, I wouldn't say that there are things that I will never show, because the truth of the matter is, in the world that we live in today, everything happens.
True.
And if creativity doesn't allow you to showcase everything, then that would be a problem, because we'll be lying to the people who are living life on a daily basis. And you also have to realize that there's so many different kinds of people watching stuff. I think the real thing is, for me as a Christian, have I been able to relate any of my work back to faith? No, I haven't. Which is something that I know that I'll have to do eventually, because I know one of the reasons I haven't been able to do that is because my creativity is also limited to what production needs me to do. Which means that since I'm not working on my own project, I can't force the hand of the person that is making money to, see these things or add these things or whatever. But I think one of the important things about faith-based movies is it doesn't matter what you show. What matters are the consequences that your character faces and how it relates to you going back to God. Because some people will be like, oh, why are you showing someone that's promiscuous? There's nothing wrong with that. What would be wrong is if at the end of the day, the person is still promiscuous.
Right.
So I think with faith-based movies, one of the things I want to showcase is I don't want to lose, because sorry, let me try and put my train of thoughts well. I'm very into now wanting to do stuff for younger adults.
Yes.
Because after Far From Home, one of the things I realized is amazing. Not a lot of people are doing things for younger adults. We're doing things for millennials a lot. We're doing things for people in their 30s. We're doing things for people who are, in their 40s.
Yes.
And I think it's because we're just incorporating the actors and actresses that we have available rather than finding the new talents.
Yes.
So I think one of the things Far From Home taught me is we have to be able to capture the young adults, because they are such a large amount of people. But what's also important to me is not just capturing them in a, come and watch, you guys having fun or anything like that. Also capturing them in a manner that sort of helps shape their minds towards that coming of age era. Now, one thing with Far From Home is, because I'm a dreamer, I tend to want to do things to showcase dreamers. People who are thinking of being above and beyond, but they're also, you're limited by their environment. Yes. So, in Nigeria, unfortunately, a lot of people are limited.
95%.
Right.
Absolutely.
So limited. So I've been thinking of so many ways to also showcase that. And I also want to be able to, where faith is concerned, I want to be able to showcase that you can have fun and still work with God.
Thank you.
Because a lot of the older generation, they're so rigid about it that they're losing the younger, it's not as if I'm saying we should turn church into club or something. No. I'm saying we need to not, in the process of trying to
steer them to Christ, steer them to whatever religion that they may be,
add traditional values as Nigerians.
Yes.
And then, because we've mixed that
absolutely
a lot.
Yes.
We've mixed Nigerian culture and traditional values with Christianity.
Yes.
So now some people don't know where their traditional values start and where their Christianity begins.
True.
You understand? And then you're doing it to these kids and in this generation where it's like they're questioning everything. You
can't fool them.
You can't.
Information is now free.
bruh,
You cannot fool them.
you talk to someone now, before you know what's going on, someone say, how do you know God exists? Have you touched God before? Have you, then when you say, oh, you know,
You don't say that.
when one time I wanted to travel, and then I wanted to enter the car, and God told me, and God said, and it's just like, okay, how do you know it's not your conscience, it's just telling you to go and sit down? You know, so people are asking questions, and you have to be able to answer. And, you know, faith is not, it's not something you can see.
No.
Faith is so, it is, bro, faith is air. You know it's there.
Yes.
You know you're breathing it.
Yes.
But the difference is science can prove air. They can tell you water is made of air. They can vaporize water. You know? But you cannot just come and say, this is God. So now you have to be able to, and media is such a humongous part of shaping culture.
Absolutely.
And if we don't get, you know, if we don't put ourselves in the opportunity to showcase that you can have a great life, you don't need to do this SU situation, because you know there's some people that they feel like if you're not tying scarf, you're not wearing jewelry, no makeup, you know, long dress, you know, you're not, you know, enjoying yourself. No, I do not believe in that, because I cannot tell you that last week I did not go out to turn up with my friends. It's what you're doing that is different. You know, I can't go and turn up with my friends and then maybe, you know, be doing something else that I feel is wrong. Me, I feel like if you're doing something, you have to question it in your head. And then you're probably know that you're doing this, you know. So you have situations like that. But I would like to be able to showcase in film how it doesn't have to be rigid.
Right.
And there are laws to be followed, just like everything else. Just like, you know, don't drive one way. You know,
Niger.
don't drive one way. Don't cross. You know, like, okay, let's not use Nigerian laws. Let's use American laws, the whole British laws that are sacrosanct.
Yes.
You know, oh, don't drive and cross a line that is blocked.
Right.
You know, don't drive on the bus lane.
Right.
You know, those kind of things. Laws exist. And laws exist in Christianity.
Yes.
And one of the major laws of Christianity is love yourself as you love your neighbor, which I tell people all the time is one of the most difficult things to do in life.
Absolutely.
Because if you need two eggs and your neighbor is hungry, like give your neighbor one. Meanwhile, you're supposed to give it. You know? So you need to be able to showcase how a dreamer can navigate Christianity and still be themselves without losing themselves to this life of when I grow up and I become independent, I'm just going to be agnostic or I'm going to be an atheist because I don't know what you are doing.
And I feel we're losing people because of that.
So many. And it's also imbibed in film culture, because a lot of times you watch faith-based films that Nigerians have made, especially the older generation, and it's like, you know, if you don't do so, you will this will happen. Yes. You know? And there was a film that I watched, I can't remember the name now, where, you know, the father was somewhat abusive to a certain extent. He was a pastor. But then by the time the kid went wayward and the prodigal son returned, it was the prodigal son returning to saying apologies. But we never got...
You didn't address the fact that my daddy was
character growth from the father understanding that forcing, you know, your form of discipline is abuse. But you're not covered because you're a pastor.
No.
You know, it doesn't negate the fact that you are abusive towards your kids because your kid went out, did the wrong thing, suffered, and has now come back home.
Right.
It is so important because even the parable of the prodigal son doesn't tell us that the father was mean. Right. It tells us that the father was merciful, and it's a way to showcase who God is to us. You know, that he's fair, he's just, he's kind, he's merciful, and he loves us. So we can go out, do nonsense, but then if we're truly repentant and come back home, he's not going to be like, okay, since you come back home now, you know, the laws of before that we met is now done. You know, he doesn't have two mouths about this thing. Right. It's still the same laws. You just need to follow that. So we need to be able to let people know that with faith, you can be you.
Right.
And you can be honest about who it is that you are. And then if there are things that you're battling with, because there's some things that people are inherently battling with that they know is wrong, but it's a battle for them.
Yes.
You can come here and this is your place of solace. Because again, evangelism is not for Christians. Evangelism is for the people outside. It's not for the people in church. The people in church were already there.
The church is supposed to be a hospital, as they say.
Bruh.
We are there, we are saved.
It is for bandage, it is for everything, first aid, surgery, everything.
Yes.
So we shouldn't be preaching to ourselves constantly. We should be accepting the word that's coming from, God, and then being able to translate that and sending it outside. So that we can stop this thoughts of people just looking at Christianity as, oh, this one is just people just want money. Oh, this one is just people just want people to just be obeying and following their word. Oh, this one is just because we're losing a lot of people, and I really want to be able to, in future and in a very soon future, to be able to showcase how God is excellent. Because if I'm not able to do that, to showcase how God's excellent, even in my life, because that's also the point of evangelism. It's not just me opening Bible and talking.
You are the Bible that
I am.
Yes.
I am.
You are literally a walking Bible.
So I need to be able to translate that into film so that we don't lose that generation, because we're fast. Even our own generation, some of them are even gone. Because it's just the loss. Some people grow up in some kind of churches that even you don't say, hey, like now, I remember when I was younger, the Apostolic Faith Church near our house used to flog people.
They are flogging the demon out of there.
They used to flog people. In fact, sometimes if your child is crying, you see your child is scared, you do like this to the mommy, papa.
Isn't the child supposed to cry? Is that what they do?
Bruh, children cry. We all know that. Babies are not going to enter church
and then conform. Exactly.
You know what, Jesus? I'm not going to cry today until your sermon is done. That's not how it works, So it's that unrealisticness that we want to imbibe in people. And the reason a lot of people are so forceful about it is the hypocritical nature as of which they live their lives. So to me, I feel like they do it so that you see them as the example, the being light. While not one of us, not even the best pastors or priests, none of us, the righteousness in this earth does not touch the hem of Jesus' garment. But we still, you can't just paint that picture that and you can't do it by subjugating others into doing things.
It doesn't increase your righteousness. It doesn't do nothing. It does nothing.
You're just paying yourself.
Exactly.
It's just that's why the path to hell. He's so on for you, because why are you hypocrite? So to me, I feel like with film, even for instance, some people they'll say, oh, like love songs are secular, but the truth about it is, no, they're not. They're also gospel, because love is such an important thing in Christianity. It is the ultimate command, because there is no command in Exodus that is not based in love. If you love somebody, you will not like this person. If you love somebody, you will not steal. If you love somebody, you will not covet the person's goods. If you love somebody, you will not bear false witness against the person. You won't say that you love your parents or you won't honor them. Is all of it borders on love. That's why it was so easy for Jesus to say, look, man, in everything you do, the greatest one of them all is to love your neighbor as you love yourself. Because if you're able to achieve that, then you are able to just, those 10 commandments, breeze. Breeze. There's nothing else. So it's so important for us to showcase how much, the parables and the teachings of Jesus is all based in love. Some people even come and say, oh, Christianity, they'll say you marry, no one's to divorce, but then, this life, you never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to.
I had an episode with a friend of mine a couple of days ago, only for her to open the Bible for me and show me a section. God help me, I'll bring it out. Maybe I'll add it to the description where it talks about, oh, if you are unequally yoked. So, for example, maybe I'm a Christian, I'm a Muslim. It says, because I am a Christian, I have made that person, I sort of fill them with my life. Do not leave them, and vice versa, or whatever the case. However, if the person who is not saved, the person who's not a Christian, decides to go, it's fine. I will bring it out. And I was like, I don't read my Bible issue. I have never gone past a certain verse.
Yeah.
So for me, divorce is not, I'm just trying to highlight your point. Divorce is not something that I would immediately give as a solution. I would always want to, like, how can we solve this? Is it therapy? Do we need to intervene and all of that? But I'm sorry, if they beat you for house, but just separate first, because I'm not ready to bury a dead body. I'm not doing that one with anybody.
Look, it's so, before I got married, we had marriage classes. And because my husband is Catholic, he wanted to. So I was one of those people who, if you ask me, where do you want to get married? I'll tell you, look, man, I can do ceremonies like that. I'm cool. Just bring pastor. There's
yes.
But because he's a Catholic, he really wanted to marry a Catholic church. But for me to do that, I had to be a Catholic.
Ooh.
So I had to do catechism classes.
Wow.
And I had to go through the entire process. I had to get baptized every
whole nine.
And while I was doing catechism classes, there were lots of things that, at first there's, lots of misconceptions about how the Catholic faith works and all of that. And there were lots of things I was learning on the go. And it was also opening me up to things that I didn't know or understand. But then when we started marriage classes, that was when I realized that, you know what? We don't understand what marriage classes is. This is not marriage counseling.
No.
That sometimes you go to some other places, like some churches and stuff, and they're sitting there and just saying, look, you do not disobey your husband. You saw something you must know. We had marriage classes which were taken by different people. And sometimes it was only the classes taken by the priests that I can tell you is the church.
Right.
Every other class they were just church members.
Right.
But they were
life.
Yes.
People.
But they were people who, for instance, the guy that took our finance class, he goes to church a lot, everybody knows him,
right,
and stuff. But he took our finance class. The first class we had was love. The very first class. And the guy who took it was the head catechist. And that class it was the first one. But he started on, how much do you love this person? Do you love this person more than you love yourself? And then people are just like, that's a bit much. And he's like, look, man, if you are trying to marry me, but you see this person that you love, you cannot sacrifice yourself for the person, you shouldn't be here.
Wow, that's very view.
He said, there's nothing else I can tell you. That you literally have to be willing to lay your life for this person. He said, because you are marrying in the unity of Christ. Christ will lay down life for you. You, in turn, have to lay down life for Christ. But then you want to marry someone you cannot die for. Die for the person. He just said, the guy said, I'm sorry. If you can't do that now, it's better for you to just rethink this
whether you want to marry.
So you have to die for the person. You have to. That is what love is. Love is self. You have to be able to get to a point where like self-sacrifice is nothing. And that's how you have to feel about your spouse. He said, because if you don't feel that about your spouse, what are we doing? That was just the first class. Before you know what's going on, you're walking through other classes. And we had one of the assistant priests, he came over and he said, Catholic Church does not believe in divorce. If you divorce, I'll never marry you again. He said, but the Catholic Church believes in annulments. And you know what annulments is? Annulments means that marriage did not take place at all. He said, do you know why? He said, because if you, as a person, you marry someone,
right,
or you come through this marriage class, everything, and they tell you, is there any secrets you have? And you say, no, you don't have secrets, no problem. Then 2 weeks later, 1 year later, a heavy secret comes out. And that secret is a deal breaker for you. You've been deceived into the marriage.
Ooh.
That's the annulment.
Ooh.
It is, you've been deceived into the marriage.
Because they asked you at the beginning.
Asked you. If you go into marriage and say, you want children. You too, do you want children? Children. I'm all for it. But then when they enter the marriage, then 1 month later I say, what happened is that, 10 years ago I found out I was impotent.
You deceived me.
So much.
Yes.
And that is grounds for annulment. He even said, if you enter a marriage, everything was good. The next thing you know what's going on, they're beating you. He said, you cannot die married again. That's not what they said to you. You're not supposed to. So what you need to do now, you come, you let the church know, you let me know, you let us, the priest know, you separate.
Exactly.
Just separate first.
Exactly.
Because you need to be able to rework and recalibrate. Let us separate first. And then if it gets to a point where it's like, look, man, I didn't sign up for this. Then there's an annulment that happens. But if 1 month before wedding, they were beating you, but you married that person.
And you knew
that
this person is susceptible to beating.
They will still beat you after marriage. You cannot annul that marriage because you want into it.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
And it is in things like that. That's why I say, decisions, there's some decisions you make when you look at it back to faith-based things. This is like now if I did a film on decision of getting married, it's not something you take lightly at all. It is a life-changing situation. Because you've been married for since I don't know when you started. I
keep telling people, after giving my life to Christ, the second most important decision, marriage. It can make or break your life. You alter the destiny of your children, alter the destiny of all your generations. It kills.
It's so important.
And builds. Depending where you go.
Simple and short. Because it is one of those things that sometimes maybe we don't depict it well enough, or we don't showcase it well enough.
It's what it's Cinderella that has caused all this.
No, we showcase, and it's because I'm in it now. And I tell people, I say, okay, when I talk about my husband, people they look at me like this is fairy tale life you're living. But it's not. It's just a situation of, like one of my cousins said, she said, when Dami and I fight, it's a diplomatic discussion. I said, yeah, because we don't actually fight. We have conversations. If there's something we don't agree on, we've had to, especially me, I've had to learn that we are two different people from two different backgrounds.
Absolutely. Culture, everything. That, in fact, you can as far as
you will have a roommate that is your friend who you have disagreement.
Exactly.
Why do you think you do not have that in marriage? It does not make sense. But the point of it is this, and it goes back to love and faith, and which is why whatever faith-based thing I do is going to always stand on love, because I need people to understand that even in your rigid life of Christianity, you need love to temper you down, to make sure you understand that even you should be vulnerable towards the younger people who are looking up to you, to understand that faith. And I tell people this, your reactions towards different things, what makes or breaks marriages is your reaction towards that person. Number one, when I say, if I do something and my husband says, oh, this is what happened, I say, I didn't mean to do this thing.
Yes.
First thing, there was a time I said that thing. He said, I know. Do you know how important that is? He understands that I offended him, but he knows I didn't mean to do it. And that already shows the security of the love he knows I have for him. She didn't want to do that. But then you see, if you have a spouse, the person does something to you, and then the person I didn't mean to do it, of course you did it. What are you telling me now? What are you saying now? It's all based on love, because if you believe that this person loves you
at the core and the root of their heart, they will never want to hurt you.
Exactly. The point is not to hurt you, but the point is that it happened.
Yes.
Which is real. Such is life. But then because my husband and I have now gotten to the point where we know each other to a point, to a fault, to where we know the bad and good. So we understand it. It's not like as if we're not still going to learn stuff about each other because you're forever changing as well. But the thing is, as you're changing, you should be communicating that change to the person you're with. And it also means that change is now on them to accept you because they understand that this change you're doing is not to harm them, it's not to hurt them, it's not to belittle them, it's not to do this, it's not to do that. In that way, you're able to live with someone and love this person for the rest of your life. For instance, last Sunday, the sermon in church was also about family life and how God didn't bring this person for you to love, just like that. God brought this person because he needs love. So you have to give them love without you wanting anything back. But you know the funny thing, if two of you feel that way, all you will keep doing is just punish yourself with love. No, love is okay. You understand? So it's gotten to a point whereby people ask me, "Oh, so how is married life?" And to me, it's just like
there's what to hear. Exactly, there's what to hear. If you don't tell me, if you don't tell me it was like this,
there's nothing. Don't worry about it. There's nothing that's happening in you people's marriage
that is not
that's exactly here. Just my marriage is happening and it's going and we're happy and we're good. I feel like every single time people have asked, even my husband, how is married life? He's just like, oh, he's just, happiness. We're just happy. We're just happy. And they just say, hey. She's like, yeah. Because people are waiting for,
yes.
I did not know that she would not put the toothbrush in. No. We know these things already. He already thinks I'm a psychopath because I press toothpaste. What am I supposed to do? Not press the toothpaste anywhere. I want to press the toothpaste. He already thinks I'm crazy because I think there's a right way to put tissue paper.
I think there is. Right?
He doesn't. He thinks just put it. Can you use tissue paper? Yes. Cool.
End of story.
It doesn't. I don't get bothered about this toilet sit up, toilet sit down. It doesn't bother me because
it bother me in the night.
But you know what? He flushes the toilet seat cover.
Okay, so it
doesn't matter. I always leave the toilet seat covered anyways.
Go to quiet. See what your mates are doing. You want to be problem inside my house now.
But then what is important is because these younger adults are also about to enter different phases of their lives, it's important for people like me who, even though I've just been married, 6 months, 6.5 months, but I've been with the same person before the wedding for 7 years.
Yeah.
It's important for people like me to be able to showcase how I feel my relationship is a joyful one. Rather than showcasing, all this drama. The crappy, shitty relationships. But again, plane will crash below. You know how many planes land in a day? So it's so important for us to be able to showcase, because now we're living in an era where, the individualisticness of people, it's so deep. Everybody is just, do you do you, I do me. We are no longer brothers keeper. In marriage, you can't be an individual.
No.
Nah. It is an impossible task. You cannot be, it's the we. All the time. It's we this, we that. All the time. You might be able to make a decision for your spouse because you know what it is.
Exactly.
But there are things that you have to discuss. There are steps you want to take in your life, and I know that in the process of a lot of women finding their independent feet, you don't want to feel like, I need permission from my husband. No.
It's a discussion.
It's not a permission situation. You have chosen to share life. Because you're sharing life now with one person. You have to discuss it. For instance, say you're the kind of person who wants to get engaged. Or maybe you want to get engaged somewhere else. You also already knew this person is an academic.
Yes.
You cannot marry somebody who is going to stifle your dreams of being an academic. Because if you do, you've already made the mistake.
Exactly.
The mistake is already yours. Because you can't do that. You have to be willing to find someone. And don't let age or anything pressure you. Because, guys, I'm married at 36. Please.
No.
Don't even let
Anybody push you into the wrong decision.
Don't do it.
They'll not be on their knees every night.
No, there's no scabashing and skibashing. You want to do that. You've made a wrong decision.
You've made a wrong decision.
You've made a wrong decision. What you're going to do now is, for the grace and strength, live through that decision, and for God in His infinite mercy to change this person. Because, and that's going to be a tough one, because you made a terrible decision. You have to remember that even with God, free will, there are consequences.
That's it. And one thing I will say is that God always gives signs.
He does.
God is fair. God is fair. He knows who is meant for who. He knew you, like He said, before you were formed in the womb. Do you understand? He's the God of what? Yesterday, today. He knows. If this person is meant for you, He will show you. It's whether you are discerning enough, you are backed in the spirit enough to know. And God will show you. So a lot of people, when they make mistakes, I genuinely pity them, because I can only imagine what they are going through.
Yeah.
And sometimes it now starts to show physically. You start to see it physically. They are fertile. And like I always say, when you get married, they expect children. You now bring children into it. So you are automatically even affecting.
It's a vicious cycle.
Exactly. You know, so people should not even. It's like I said, after saying, God, Jesus, I give my life to you. Biggest decision you make in your life, check on right under it. Bullet point 1, 2, 2 like this. Marriage. I've seen it. Like, I've literally seen it around me. I have friends. I know all these, my older cousins, aunties. I've seen it. You see the ones that you can tell, oh, these people are like 5 and 5, 5.5, 5 and 6. The way they move, the way they are building together. And then there are some of them, oh goodness. Oh Lord. Sneeze, or if you need to sneeze.
The sneeze is not coming out.
Oh, hiding. You should come out, wherever you are. You know, and their song, it's just breaking them down. And that thing that God has caused you to, there we go.
I know. You catch you.
And that thing that you are meant to do, the assignment that God has given you in your children, in the works of your hands, like even you with film, it comes to you. I always see all the jokes you make online. Yeah, we go again. Let's jump this.
No, I'll be hot.
Oh, God. Courage like that. Even with film, imagine if you married somebody that say, no. You can't be going for all this celebrity kidney call. Do you know what they do? Do you know what they're out to? That's already. So you are here talking about, I am helping to shape the minds through entertainment, through media of the. That's literally what you guys are doing with the next generation. Because I fondly remember an acquaintance of mine. His name is Adeolu Adifas. He's a pastor, right? And he used to do this, like not a podcast, but he had this like short talk type setup, which was really cool. Like talk about faith and all manner of things. Which I think, if you see this, please do it. Like, come back. It was actually such a good thing. And one day he penned a very heartfelt letter, because he's also an actor.
Yes, I know. Yes, because he was in Skinny Girl in Transit.
Yeah. So, which she was one of the right as a fail. Yeah. So he penned a letter to Hollywood, and I had to repost that thing like 3 times, because I also have friends who are directors, writers, Tim Dario Abudu, people that they're really doing a lot of good work. And I was tagging on everybody, and he was saying that we have a responsibility, because before you are a writer or you are shaping the mind of the future, you are a Christian first. And one of my aunties, Auntie Bubu Awishka, she always says it. I am a Christian businesswoman. I am a Christian director. It comes first. So whatever I'm doing has to flow. As a Christian, it flows into what I am doing. So he was saying that we have a responsibility. He wrote it. If I can find it, I will add it to this as well. We are shaping the minds of people, society, culture, and we need to be careful about what we are putting out there, because they will take it and they will run with it. So people might think, it's all fun and games. They're writing script, they're doing this. What are they doing? Your job, I don't envy it, because the responsibility that you have is so heavy. I cannot lie. And the more that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, man, forget politics, forget all these things. You guys, media is the biggest tool that I know of.
Yep.
I know music, film, whatever that will shape the minds of Princess, my younger siblings, the Gen Zs, the Gen Alphas, because they say, since it's there now, this is what society is like, this is normal.
Yep.
This is what it should be, so they will follow it. So whatever it is as parents that you are saying to your children, that God's special grace, small will enter, but what they are watching, especially now, everybody has phone. We are constantly scrolling. We're constantly on Netflix, on YouTube, on Amazon Prime, all this. That is what they are taking in on a daily basis, for sometimes for hours.
Yeah.
So your job, I mean, it's great because that means, I guess with great, what is it, with great kidney comes great responsibility.
Yes.
It's a lot.
It is, and it just eventually we're going to have to make it work, because at the end of the day, not everybody's going to do faith-based films or anything.
And it doesn't even have to be faith-based.
And it just have to be.
It's not even about it being faith-based. It's more about how do we incorporate the elements to showcase God's love, His character.
How do we just be human, good people?
Exactly.
How can we just build
exactly?
Because sometimes it doesn't have to be that it's about Bible church.
No.
Sometimes it just has to be making good decisions.
Yes.
Just making good decisions.
Yes.
And it's a lot of work, because for young adults you have to do a lot of movies that are coming of age, which we don't have a lot of. And I was even saying that it's even, I feel so much sorrier for the generation coming up behind us, because with us we had teenage stuff.
Yes.
Now they don't actually have teenage stuff. They are battling adult dilemmas as teenagers.
Like they want to grow up so fast.
Bro, think of making adult decisions as a teenager. You more than 50% make.
Oh, absolutely.
Because with a teenage brain, you're only making the decision that you see instant gratification.
Absolutely.
So it's for instance, now you have, when we're younger, maybe like we're following like all these Backstreet Boys, and maybe sometimes we're not. Do you know there's some songs there that we listen to in secondary school? If you listen to them now,
Dami, I have been doing that. Like I was like, why was I listening to school? Don't no, you don't understand.
This is some of the song there. Like,
how were these?
This was deep.
This guy on this ginger. What?
And it's just like,
I didn't know the meaning.
But the innocence of the generation now is lost because of social media.
Oh yes.
They know exactly what is happening.
Yes.
And because they know what is happening, it means that they watch what they know. They absorb what they now know. And because they know things much earlier than we, when they're supposed to.
Yes.
They have to move from there. You understand? It's like, when we're younger now, you go to party. What was the major thing? Okay, drank alcohol. That's the major thing. And that alcohol doesn't don't say it's like, it's not like you're doing tequila shots. No. It's like a different punch.
Yeah.
You don't mix vodka, mix some food there, But you see some people, they will drink, by the time they are drinking fruit punch at 10, 11.
Hey.
By 15, what do you think they will be doing?
They are doing higher things.
But we were doing fruit punch 13, 14, So I remember having parents, there was I think it was during the election. Yeah, it was. I was sitting there with some people and they're like, you're not far from home and all that. And that's really enjoyed this, but this drug thing they depicted in Far From Home. It's unrealistic.
It actually is not, because that is exactly what is going on.
The woman next to him just said, don't you have teenagers? He said, yes, I do. She said, so I'll be 15-year-old.
Hey. And
let me tell you something, Far From Home do not scratch the surface of what?
Wow.
But dear, if you have teenagers and you think Far From Home was too much, you need to sit down and talk to your teenagers because they're not talking to you.
That scares me.
That's exactly what she said. She said, your children are not talking to you, and that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
She said, because my own child, I have to talk to my child. I have to because now we're raising children, not in those days where you just flog children. Yeah.
And you could hide things. There was no access to information, nothing.
Yeah.
You tell that boy will touch you, you get pregnant.
No, you have to actively be their friend and parent at the same time. So you have to open line of communication whereby you have a listening ear
as opposed to always being can't believe it. Why would you? They won't tell you anything.
So now that you have their listening ear, which was similar to how my mom raised me. And I'm sure which is similar to how that's why you can talk to your parents, even now as an adult. But you know there are people in our generation that they can't talk to their parents now because they didn't have a relationship then. You know? So it's just like, sometimes you will say equals.
Equals baby.
People just be looking at what's they know.
And some people say, what's this one doing? They don't understand.
They don't understand. Sometimes I see my mom, I call her Yadami. And she's still my Yadami. We're from here to here. And but because we have that relationship where when I was in JS2, one boy said, oh, you go out to see. And I said, please hold on. I went to meet my mom and said, this guy asked me, like, what do you think I should say? She looked at me, she said, what does that mean? I said, oh, we'll be boyfriend, girlfriend. She said, okay, so what does that also mean? I said, nothing, we'll be talking on the phone. Maybe if it comes to the house sports, we'll see each other, people know that our boyfriend and girlfriend, By the time I finished talking, my mom looked at us, I said, so what do you want to say? I said, I don't know. Should I say yes? I like you. People say yes. So I went and said yes. Throughout the time, me and this person were going out, so we saw each other once. So you can imagine that situation when to my mom, it was just like there's a certain innocence to it.
Yeah.
But she's still monitoring me because she knows I'm talking to this person.
I don't know what the other
It's as simple as that. So if I ever came and said, oh, I'm going to his house, of course that's when
that's what I say.
It's funny.
You're right.
You come here.
Exactly. Don't worry, tell him to come.
Tell him the apartment is not big.
Exactly.
None of us to be here together. So it got to a point whereby I started realizing what I can and what I can't. And it's not like as if I wasn't testing boundaries. Because that's what teenagers do. You get to a point where you start testing boundaries.
Of course.
And it wasn't like as if I didn't do things I couldn't tell my mom. But guess what? There was a limit. Because to me, I always knew, you see this place, I'm going to pass it. So because I knew I was such a big talker to my mom, I couldn't let peer pressure push you into doing things. And that is something that we need to showcase in film as well, that as a young person, you should not let people push you into doing things because unfortunately, as young people, we try to group ourselves. Absolutely. We try to form cliques because that's fun. You don't want to live like
everybody wants to be at home.
Yeah. But then, is the right clique
number one?
You have to form the right clique.
Oh, yeah.
And as teenagers, you might not make the best decision on that.
Absolutely.
Because you want to do what you think is fun. So you want to form the right clique. You see some people who are popular. So you want to be popular.
Yes.
Yes. Sometimes you want to form a clique where these people are rich. You don't have money at all. So you start pretending, you start lying. Yeah. Like, I know there was a time in secondary school where lying that is a daddy that was Mega
Mega Plaza.
Yes. Some of us were just like, yeah.
What kind of embarrassment is that?
The thing was now somehow because when she came from the school she came from was, I think, a school where she could have gotten away with that.
Right.
But then coming to a school where you can't get away with that, it's tough. You understand? And then it will be funny to make fun of that person. Excuse me. But now, as an adult, I can imagine the pressure she must have been feeling for her to lie to that point. In primary school, I remember this girl that lied that, we have a swimming pool in my house and there's also one animal. I can't remember the animal she said they the swimming pool. That's how they nominated me to go to our house to not see the swimming pool. So, my dear, I asked as a scriptwriter, investigate. That's how I went to the back of the house. Oh, the soccer wing. Stop. Now when they say, oh, if you climb down here, say, yeah, this is not sounding, it's not like I know, because how about could they have pool in their house? I don't know have pool in my own father's house, my mother's house, but I know pool.
I don't put. I don't put that.
I've been to pool. My uncle has a curriculum membership, and I don't think I find this fun. So I have to go back to school to report.
Yeah.
So this pool, just see the pool and the animal inside. I said, well, actually, I didn't really see the pool.
Yeah.
So you have situations like that, and it's like now I sit and think, what was it that pressured them into doing that kind of thing? And it is media that we can use to depict how, I wouldn't want to depict a child that's just good. You want to depict a child that is going through that so that you can relate.
Yes.
And then also showcase how to come out of it.
Yes.
You understand? And it's so important to building a person.
Yes.
Because, you said something. You said, we'll talk about self-confidence. And this is a great thing because it's so important that we start building confident people from a young age.
Oh, la la.
Because I had to learn how to be confident.
Absolutely.
And I know sometimes some people would think your confidence is just you just be sharp mouth, you just be crazy and stuff. But no, it went through, and you would even understand me because we both be big kids.
Yes.
I know what it was like when I was younger. Like you go to like, this house party, people are dancing with that, people not dancing with you. So you just be sitting there like, what sort of nonsense is this? Because I have stomach, what's happening here? And there was one time I felt so bad about it. It felt like, what am I even doing in this world if nobody wants to take this serious? If nobody wants to take it. But I had to rethink myself. My dear, recalibrate. So I had to recalibrate. And it's not as if I haven't had lapses in self-doubt. That's not what I say. But we've gotten to a point whereby you have to pep yourself up.
Absolutely.
And you have to pep yourself up, and you have to get a circle of people that actually love you. Back to love again.
Yes.
A circle of people where you are all like-minded. When they tell you you're better to say better float together, you might not be exactly the same. Nobody said you should get your identical twin as a friend.
Absolutely not.
Because you don't even get that. Even identical twins are not the same
at all.
But you need a circle whereby you can be like, this is my just.
Yeah.
For instance, now, and God forbid this will happen to you. But imagine you come from a well-to-do family. All of that is good. It's not as if people are down. But you're comfortable, you're good. Now imagine losing all of that. But then your circle of friends are people who are materialistic.
Oh, you're done, man. You are done.
Do you understand?
You are done.
You need a circle of friends that it is not what you have. It is how they feel
about you and the
love,
like you're saying.
It's so deep that you need to be confident about that. That's why sometimes when some relationships don't work, my dear, consider God in that thing and just say, okay, you know what? Maybe I'm telling you something. So let's just leave it at that. For now, let's not force anything. You understand? Let's not, because even with me, I'm one of those people who I hate bothering people. That's how I feel. I hate bothering people. Like now, I remember, I think I needed antacids. And then Chef Sia had already told me, oh, she's coming back. And then I said, hold on, you ask her now. Do you know the first lesson? I said, man, she has 3 kids. I can't load, first of all. I can't bother this girl. Because all I'm thinking of, so I said, Simi was coming for wedding. I'm the one that sent the sauce to house, pack it and bring it down. You understand? So, and I said, why won't I be able to? To me, I sent things, even though I knew she was bringing things for wedding. To me, I'm just like, what? Bring my clothes, But the thing is, because I also have to be so considerate of others, I'm just like, look, I know it's fantastic. I know she can just buy it in the airport. But in the airport with 3 kids,
She will still dey do good.
you don't need to add to the.
Yeah, but not burden, but yes.
It's an unnecessary thing. I'll find someone whose burden is not as long, whose list of to do is not as long. I can understand when it was just one child, it's different. With 3 toddlers, that is enough. You understand? So it's not that our friendship is not deep enough for that to happen. It is that because our friendship is deep enough for me to think of
our behalf. Yes.
I'm able to recognize when to and when not. If it is so deep, I cannot come and say, look, I've tried.
Jo.
So just don't disturb me. Alright? So you need that circle of friends that, for instance, one of my best friends, I mean my maid of honor, is someone I met in secondary school. And if the person I'm friends with yes. If there's someone that I met in secondary school that I'm still friends with now, it means that some decisions were made that were not just about what she's about, she is, and all that. It was made, and we've built a relationship whereby we love each other, stood the test of time. Because right now, I'm not saying you can't meet a friend today and keep that friend for 20 years. Not true. You can't.
You can.
You can meet a friend at 50.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it will be like, wow. You know, you all my life.
Exactly.
You know, but the key thing is to be confident enough in yourself to be able to turn down people who are not good for you. If you don't do that, you will make mistakes much more than someone who is confident. I'd not say be cocky. I'd not say be overly arrogant with your life. You're not better than anybody.
No.
You're not worse than anybody.
Love yourself. That's what
you have to love yourself.
That's what it. See, I think I need to take up the time. The word love has to enter the title of this episode. Because if you love yourself truly,
you respect yourself.
Yes.
Because like I tell people, if someone says love does not conquer, I say it's not true. Because love is respect, love is you being kind, love is you being helpful, love is so many things. The word alone encapsulates so many things. So if you love yourself, you respect yourself, and if you respect yourself, you wouldn't want anybody to treat you. It's just as simple as that. It doesn't mean that when they treat you anyhow, you should be wicked.
No.
It just means you need to be able to protect your space. It's not by force. So yeah, you know, some people want to be like friends or want to be in this clique by force. It's not, you know, for instance now, even with me being in entertainment, I remember when I was trying to get into this entertainment situation. I mean, I was on radio, but trying to get into writing and filming, and stuff. And someone told me, someone said, man, you don't have to click for it. Is what somebody said. The person told me, he said, I'm not trying to be mean, but these guys are so clicky.
Right.
That you need the click to even be able to get in. You know. But then someone asked me now, how did you make it into film? My dear. Oh, it's grace of God, I guess.
I was going to say.
Because I was just in one place. And they asked me to do something. And then someone else did the job. And they felt bad and said, no other thing you can do. I said, I can rise. They said, okay. There's something we're trying to do. Let's see if I can work on that. And that was how Singing and Transit came about.
I watched it.
So you can imagine that I was just in a place where I just said, what can you do? I can write. That's what I said. Is that confidence? Yes. Because did I know if I was really writing? Because I was writing for myself. I don't think more than 1 or 2 people have read anything I've written, to be honest. So this is me professing that confidence like, man, I can write.
And that's how God comes. It doesn't come the way you expect that, oh yeah, one will come and say, oh yeah, or one
it can be something small. You understand? And without something small, you just continue to build yourself. You just continue to go on. But it is in that place, God knows that I still have imposter syndrome. And so one day,
Excuse me, please. Excuse me, please.
I'm telling you. Someone told me one day that, look, man,
You're a big deal.
with imposter syndrome, I cannot tell you that you're not a big deal. But I can tell you that one of the reasons you have imposter syndrome is also because you're still willing to learn.
I was going to say, does it humble you? Not humble, but does it ground you?
Which is what I took what that person said, and I took it and I run with it. In a whatever project I'm in, I intend to learn something from here, even though I'm showcasing my expertise as well. It's so important. But then you also have to be confident about what it is, who it is that you are. Whatever it is that you're doing, you have to be confident. I mean, it's not even easy with us with our big stomach and big hand and big leg.
Time to everything. Everybody just
walking up and down. They'll just, why is it? But by the time we dress up, package ourselves, and everything, I'm cute. Actually, you are fine. You know?
They will not be surprised.
You know, that's one thing I would like. You know, people will tire get that. You know? And, you know, and we've come from, I mean, one of our artists called me a repatriator. Yeah. Yes. Stop. For this, I don't understand. That's good. That's going to kill a driller. You know, I think on time when you were younger, when you just used to walk about, people would just be saying horrible people. Or you know those people that used to wear trousers and put clothes inside their bumbo. There were some people that used to walk on the roads when we were younger, just to wear trousers and people just be shouting horrible, or they'll be following the people, you know, that kind of. So, you know, it got to a point whereby people calling me horrible wasn't even an insult anymore. It didn't even. That doesn't even reason. Okay, big deal. You know, in fact, don't even be scared to use the word fat, because that's what is an adjective.
God bless you.
So someone is slim, someone is fat. It is what it is.
I see people when I talk to them and I say, "Oh, I'm fat," you can see they're like,
didn't say it.
Exactly. It's a word. Okay. Exactly. You can use it. It is not a problem. If you are fat, you are fat.
You're fat. There's nothing to do. Well, there's
stuff. I'm telling you, there's something you can do.
There's stuff.
No, but oh goodness.
But it is. I mean, it is what it is. But the key thing here is, I realize that confidence does so much in different capacities. Confidence has in job interviews have been able to get the jobs. Confidence in just, you know, social gatherings have been able to get me friends.
Yes.
Confidence has been able to get me business deals. Confidence has been able to get me husband. You know, you have to be confident. You have to believe in yourself. You have to love yourself. You have to respect yourself. And if you're confident, people think being confident is just for one aspect in life. No, it's for every single aspect. Everything, even from the way your parents relate with you, from the way your siblings relate to you, your cousins, your friends, all those people, they relate with you with respect because they realize that this person respects themselves. So let me not bring nonsense to your doorstep. Because if you bring nonsense to the doorstep, you're going to take that nonsense with you back. So it's so important for you not to, you know, be that person that is just belittled all the time.
Right.
So with me, what I realize is that there's situations whereby I never even try to engage. Like, oh, yes, we know Dami is confident, but it's not a meek or trying to belittle myself. It's there's no need to engage in this place because I realize that people are already, you're not okay. And in that spirit, I would like to protect my peace. So let's be arm's length, you know, head high. Okay, well, you know, there's no need to go further than that. God bless you. And that is the confidence in itself because you're not trying to change who you are to accommodate someone.
No.
It's so important for you to understand that. So, I mean, with all of that, going back to your first question, which is just bringing that into film, it is one of the things I'm really very particular about not losing media and losing the younger audience and even my generation and even possibly the older generation who can learn a thing or two from what it is.
It's not even a thing or two. I think even parents when they're watching this, they should understand, because you know how you were saying to you in a group or in a group setting, and someone was saying, "Oh, far from home, I thought that was a bit extreme." Another parent is telling you, it's like you don't know anything. This should maybe open your eyes. It should be a learning experience for you to be like, maybe I need to have more conversations with my children about sex, or about drugs, or about life's ambitions and dreams. And maybe even there's some parents that they have this thing so fixated in their mind. My daughter must be a doctor. What if she's a gifted artist? Right? And seeing how do you help to nurture that. And one thing I even wanted to say about parents, aunties, uncles, like, you are your child, your nieces, your nephews, you are their first point of contact in the early stages of their lives. It is so important that you instill, I don't want to say fake it till you make it, but you instill that confidence in your children, in your nieces, in your nephews. Stop being that mean auntie that will say, "Come here, Onobo, look at you." No. If you are concerned about their health, if you are concerned about how the world, because what's the wicked place? You are scared that I don't want anybody to be talking to my nephew anyhow, or talking to my niece anyhow, or close any doors because of how people may, think that they look. Your job is to maybe say, "Okay, I like to run. You know what, Yele? I just feel like going for a walk. Do you want to join me?" Let it not become a thing. So you're kind of hiding what you are trying to do. But over time, do you enjoy walking? Auntie, I don't even mind this just that we're doing. Before you know it, you might be helping them. It's the approach. It's the little things. But what you are doing by saying, "Oh, you say I'm something trailer," you're killing their confidence. And the thing is that not everybody has the same. I feel like I'm very confident. I know you are, but not everybody is like that. Which is why some people may end up saying, "You know what? What's this life anyway?" And then you hear of stories. You hear it and you're like, "God, what could this person have been going through for them to want to go that far?"
It's because their inner circle, the people closest to them, are not helping
at all.
Because you have to be able to, for instance, now, as we're talking, someone is raising a bully and someone is raising a victim.
Exactly.
Exactly. And sometimes when I watch some people being bullied, I'm like, stand up for yourself now. But then when you go back to, like, it could be a film, you go back to their homes, you realize that even their parents are instilling that victimhood in them, and instilling that lack of confidence for them to fight back.
Yes.
Excuse me. So you have that situation where, as we're depicting to young adults, we have to be able to showcase how older people can be in their lives. So that even the older people around them, they'll be willing to say, "Come and watch this stuff."
You can come and get one or two.
It's important. Because, talent is one thing. I remember when coming back from school, and, I was using my degree, I was to do reading, my mom first made me say, "Okay, the writing came again." Okay. But look at us now. My mom goes, have you seen?
Look at me now.
Oh no, come!
Oh no, she's the one. They are the ones that are to carry last week. Everywhere.
And that's the thing. The thing is, with talent, you have to. I know that it's not all talent that will make a straight on hand. I understand this. So sometimes you need to be able to find a balance when you're telling your child, "Look, I know you really love doing this thing, but we have to come to a realistic point where we see it's not working. So maybe continue doing it as a hobby, get a job, and then when the window of opportunity comes up,
you are prepared better.
You're ready."
Exactly.
So that's the kind of conversations you need to be having. Not telling them, "No, you can't do it.
What is that?
Kill the painting shape." And I understand that it's harder to see the light again in Nigeria that's limited. So limited. For instance, raising a child in Nigeria, and the child wants to be an F1 driver. Where do you begin?
Yeah. Is he on this?
Where do you begin? You know, even the go-karting, all of that, and being in F1 is such an expensive sport.
Exactly.
But the opportunities to even get in, to even have go-karting competitions, all of that doesn't happen here.
Exactly.
You understand? So you are already on a low start.
Exactly.
So it's going to be tough, but unless you have the money to say, let's move to Europe,
Right.
because that's what my son wants.
Exactly.
That's what my daughter wants.
Then the sky is your limit.
Then limit. But then when you're in a limited space like this, what else do you want to do? You have to figure out what else is there that you can do. What else is there that you can put as a hobby down for my child? Football is even better because one day, maybe
Coach you sport exactly.
So it's God knows that talented football players are gimmicks. Nobody saw them. You understand? So it's at the end of the day, we have to be able to also showcase through media confidence for even parents to believe in their kids, so that they will not make decisions for their children and they raise their children to be able to make the right decisions for themselves. Because if you raise a child but then you question the person's decisions, the person not question your parents as well. So it's also tough because you can't just stifle kids now. No, there's no opportunity for that. Now, these children want to, God knows, in the 90s, you tell a child wants to be a musician. Okay, cost to
maybe in the US, but here.
Now, he wants to be a musician. I was like, my Lord, to just
Match your YouTube channel, you know everything.
Are you singing? We sing today.
And especially they are actually good.
Look, not choreographed. Do you know singing?
No, we do like Beyonce.
Bro,
you ride bicycle.
you will be singing and dancing in this place. If you miss one singing, you'll see what I will see. Because it can. But let's not always base our children's goals on how much they can make. Because everybody's always.
But it's not that. It's because God gives us talent. Look at someone like Simi. Simi cannot tell you where all these recipes are coming from.
No, she
can't. She will just wake up one morning and say, "Yale, what do you think if I pay?" I'm like, well, how did that come? It's divine. And this is where I believe God is God. It doesn't, you understand? God, you can dream one day and just be like, oof. God will say He wants you to, He will just give you a clue, and you run with it.
God knows, I have different documents. Or I dreamt of something and then I sit down and I'm just up at 4 a.m. Quick paragraph. Let me just put it down.
So that exactly.
Let me just put it.
But I think these things are divine.
Yeah.
So for me, I always tell parents, like you're saying, believe in your child. Believe in them, especially if you can see that this thing. And as a praying parent, God will show you too. Because you are in charge, you are a caretaker of that child's destiny as well. So He will show you too. He will give you a clue. He will confirm it and say, okay, you know what? I will provide everything that you need to support this child. Not trying to, but I also agree. As your child wants to be a singer, send them to business school as well. So that when they are signing contract, they will understand. You must always have a plan.
Yes.
And prepare your children on all fronts. Absolutely. I agree with you.
And you make them understand it, because and that's where communication comes in. Rather than you ordering them about, it got to the point whereby you just have to talk to your kids. It has to be a conversation because it's their life. You're also assisting them to shape.
Exactly.
So you need to be able to have the conversations. This is why I want you to do this. This is why I want you to do so and so. I think doing music is great. If you want to be a musician, that's awesome. Maybe what we can do is that we can go do a music course. That way, if you being a full-time musician does not work, guess what? You can teach.
True.
It's so important for the options to be there, because you're not the only one that has a dream. And it's so important. But your calling might not even be the dream you're seeking. Your calling might be to make somebody else's dream come true. So it's so important that all of us can't be where it is that we want to be. We can have the dream. Like, God knows where I see myself. Like, I see myself only like a whole studio. Everybody going to shoot. Everybody going to do. I can see amen to it, because that's where I see myself. But who knows if what I see is the foundation work for what someone else is going to do. So you need to get to a point. Everybody gets to a point. Walt Disney did his own. His company, what he's doing now is another thing. And he's not here.
But everybody is. You see, God said in the last, everybody is thinking about self.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to play the long game. Like, you know what? I'm happy to build the foundation and the next generation, I guess, enjoy more of the food.
Yeah.
But everybody wants to eat and enjoy that
Now.
food now.
And the truth is, there's some things you enjoy now, and there's some things that someone else enjoy.
That's just what
it is. What it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. You can't carry everything where you're going.
Where you go? I was having a conversation yesterday. They said even when you die, the clothes that you wear, you cannot pick it.
You can't carry it.
Apart from carrying, you don't even. So that's to tell you that this life is
nothing. You leave everything.
Everything.
If you go to heaven, you won't need it. If you go to hell, no matter what. So what is the point? Oh my God!
So you don't carry your Hermes bag.
There's nothing.
Your Chanel bag.
There's nothing.
Really?
Guess what?
What?
Guess what? When you go, someone will carry that bag.
Yeah.
That bag. Yeah. Someone will still carry the bag.
Yeah.
If it's your child that will carry it.
Yeah.
If it's someone else that will carry it.
Hey.
If it's that you are owing money and they will send the bag.
Yeah.
Someone will still carry the bag.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Perfume you bought, it will not spray. It will still be here.
Hey.
Someone else will spray it.
Hey.
Someone else will use your moisturizer or they will trade it. But your face stuff, they will still use it. So at the end of the day, nobody's saying to enjoy your life. You can do that. After all, God created people that created all these items.
Oh.
So it's not like it came from thin air. Everything is information. But the key thing is, be confident in yourself, love yourself, but be good, be kind. I know it's a tough thing because we have evil people in the world.
Plenty.
And sometimes it feels like as if they are winning, But the only reason they are winning is because when you lack integrity and you lack love and you lack laws and care for other people, you're willing to do whatever. And because of that, people fear your decisions. And I understand that that's why it looks like they're winning. But as a Christian, it's not even a belief in karma because some people are living long life and they're wicked. It's just a belief that at the end of the day, what you're doing is right. And you can't do for someone else. You can't make decisions
Absolutely.
for someone else. You cannot carry cross for someone else. At the end of the day, we all meet at the foot of Jesus, and your judgment to be based on what you did, not what someone else did. So, to me, I just feel like we just need to be able to use media to shape narratives because it's one big PR machine. But it's important for us to build people because right now in Nigeria, I feel like we're losing so many people to the, should I say, to the love of money. We're losing generations to the love of money.
Of course.
Because Nigeria has sort of created an environment whereby, if not for money, you don't exist.
But
there's no respect.
But the truth is, that is what it is.
That's
that's literally what it is.
And I know that it's not just here in Nigeria that's it's global. Globally, if you don't have money, with money you can get away with a lot of things. But the thing is, we need to also create environments whereby children and young adults can see, Anselia's podcast, that is working. Oh, Dami is writing, that is working. So because one day someone interviewed some kids and said, "Oh, what do you want to be?" One girl said, "I want to be a neurosurgeon." Oh, who is your role model? And then the girl mentioned the female musician. But then the guy now said this to her and said, the school abroad now, they want to be a scientist. Who is your role model? They mention scientists with their
Yes.
But here, you want to be a neurosurgeon, but your role model is a musician.
I don't understand. People need to be able to see.
So we don't have, the youth are not they're not seeing success coming from hard work or who they can, No, I'm not saying musicians are not, musicians work hard.
Absolutely.
I'm saying that if a child wants to be a musician and looks up to a musician,
that makes sense.
Different.
Yes.
But if a child wants to be a doctor but looks up to Dami, the writer, it doesn't tally. Because I can't, even if you wanted me to mentor you, I cannot.
You can't.
Towards the path of being a doctor. I can only say let me find you a proper mentor so that you can focus on that. So we need to be able to showcase that. We even need to use film to be able to showcase opportunities people have and can get. For instance, I know, taking SAT might something that's, maybe the elitist people are thinking of.
Yes.
But then, how you see, like, American kids they're not rich.
Well off, yes.
But they already know some of the opportunities available to them. We don't have that in Nigeria. Where a kid that is doing some downtrodden communities, understands that your best bet is not just
becoming some. Yes, I understand.
So we need to be able to use film to even showcase its scholarship opportunities.
Yes.
Where you can go.
Yes.
What you can do.
Yes.
What you can be.
What can I do to break that cycle and get into 100%.
So if there's like an organization that maybe gives scholarship in Nigeria, and we're able to talk to them like, how does your film work? And then we're able to do a film that showcases that. So that someone who is so brilliant but is in community school is just like, maybe I can, this is an opportunity. So that it doesn't look like as if the only thing for you to do is whether it's to do Yahoo or whether it's to do this.
Right.
So we have
power of film. I have one question for somebody who is a new writer or a writer like you. Maybe once they get that big break, that's it, and someone says, "Oh, so what else can you actually do?" And they see they see the entertainment industry as perverted and boldly, and they're like, but I still want to hold on to faith. How would you advise them to fortify themselves? Because I know, not that I know, I'm guessing or I'm assuming that there are things that you have encountered, heard of, seen. Some might be evil. I don't know. I cannot say it wholeheartedly because I was not there.
Yeah.
How do you fortify yourself? What do you do?
You have to align, because unless you have the money to produce your own stuff, first of all, getting into writing is tough, because for you to showcase that you're a good writer, people want to see whether there's something you are producing stuff, or they want to read your script, which they can still hear.
True.
So it's a tough nut to crack. But I believe that if you are worried about anything like that, you have to align. For instance, there are production companies that deal with faith-based stuff. And I can't tell you, just go and write something that you feel uncomfortable with until you make it, then you can now, I can't do that because some people don't know how to do that. Some people can, but some people don't know how to do that. So you need to be able to figure out your best way to align. If your best aligning is like, maybe even in your church, maybe they do like drama stuff, and you offer to say, write the drama for them. Not a bad way to start. If you know, like faith-based companies that are, doing movies like that, I mean, you can continue bombarding them with emails, hoping that one day somebody will answer. There's also that. But to be honest, I am of the opinion that if you're going to principle through and through, then just hold on to that. I can't tell somebody to, downgrade themselves or their faith so that they
can rise or they can break through.
The challenge is that. The challenge of what you're trying to do is literally that. And if you are steadfast in something, I personally believe that, and that's how I feel about talent, as long as you are steadfast on something and you have your principles that are unshakable and you know your hard limits that you always say no. Success will find you. It might not be immediate, it might not be in a year, it might not be in 5, it might not even be in 10. But people that are getting successful in their 50s and 60s, some people start out as nothing and then they end up being something. So I think no matter what it is, you have to be steadfast in your choices. And I don't think you should lose ground when it comes to faith, because turning your back on what you believe God has, created you to be, just so that you can achieve something, is a weird stance to take. So I would advise for any young writer, if you're somebody that you're so willing to do faith-based films, and let's say, for instance, you don't even have a way to break in. And there's so many ways now. Like, for instance, even YouTube videos.
Of course.
You can literally narrate a story on YouTube videos and put it up, and just give it a catchy, title or something. And then if maybe you do have, like, you have a job that is giving you small money, maybe once in a while you can decide to promote like that video, or you can do an Instagram post and you can promote that post on Instagram, even if it's just for a week or so. I think it's so important for us to also set goals for ourselves. So if you are able to, like, go and check, oh, how much does it cost to promote an Instagram, post, and maybe it says, oh, 10K. If you are doing something, it's for your benefit.
Exactly.
Just be putting the money aside, 500 are here, 1K here, until you get that money you need, then you go ahead and do that promotion, because you're trying to push yourself and you promote your best stuff, so that it catches people to come and see what it is that you're doing. So I feel what limits us in some things that we're doing is our approach to it, and thinking that, oh, I want to do this, so I'm just going to sit and pray about it. You pray about it and you go do the hard work.
Exactly.
Because you need that grace to follow you in the work that you're doing.
Absolutely.
So don't just...
It's not magic.
Yeah.
Faith don't just work. You have the faith, put in the work,
do the work.
you write the vision, make it plain. See, I'll never forget Hallelujah Challenge that just happened a couple of months ago. Apostle Selman came and he said there are laws that God has put in this world on how things will work and how you can be successful. Apply them.
Yeah.
I know it's easy for us to say. Just apply it. Like you said, save. Look for different mediums. If it's that you have to go and do free internship once in a while,
go ahead
yourself
and do it.
into the right networks. And if God has shown you that I have given you the gifts, it comes naturally. Somebody will see it and pick it. God will open the eyes and the heart of someone, and they will see you and be like, eh. So at that appointed time and season, Kairos moment, or whatever they call it, it will happen.
Yep.
Always
you can even enter with someone who is not doing faith-based stuff.
Yes.
And then at some point, they're trying to build a character that is faith-based. And then you would help. And then that's the key thing. And then you can change somebody's mind into how they can even showcase faith-based movies, because sometimes it's not just, like we said, about just church and singing and all that.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's just about life and being a good person and still rooting that back to the fact that God's love is important.
Exactly.
So don't just sit back and just be dreaming, because dream is sweet though. Reality it's tough. So it's important for you to just keep striving, keep working hard at it. I know it sounds easier to say, but there's nothing else.
There's no other form. Yeah,
it's not the truth. You just need to pray about it. And even when you even find somebody you want to work with, pray about it.
Exactly.
And then if you see things that are becoming questionable and all that, try to remove yourself from situations, and don't use that. Sometimes you get something and then you think this is it, but then when you start realizing that it's not it, because you're afraid to start again looking for it, you just say and then you now be forcing yourself into a situation that isn't for you. I don't think you should do that. Just if it's not for you, just step aside and start again. There's nothing wrong with starting again. So many people are starting again.
You learn so much.
So just do that, and I think that would work.
I like what you just said. It's important to take God. Every step you are taking, you are going left, you are going right. Before you take your left step, you say, God, do I move? Before you take your right, every decision that I make, people always think, oh, you just bring, or maybe you just bring it down because no, clearly you are. Based off of everything that you have said, I'm not surprised with the way the whole conversation has gone. I'm not surprised, because this is how God works on this podcast.
Yep.
In fact, he has told me that recently the I in I have the flow is him. Do you understand? So I just know that this is his, I guess this is his flow, and he just wants to use some of his children to talk and just speak and talk about life and people from different backgrounds, film, whatever, chef, whatever.
Yeah.
This is just, again, like you said, to reach different pockets of people. So allow yourself to be used, but make sure that it's God that sent you there.
Yep.
Because the grace that has led you there, it will carry you. The God that is leading you there, his grace will carry you. But if he not send you, please, I take God beg you. I beg you in the name of Jesus, don't go there.
Yeah, come out.
Come out quick. So, on that note, hey,
We finally done podcast.
we have done. Hey, in fact, thank you. That's what I will say. The thank you is heavy. Because you know when you come like this, she said she's having imposter syndrome. That's why I'm looking at you like, you don't know who you are. Hey, I'm blowing. We are blown. God, we are blown. I'm just joking. But thank you so much.
You are welcome.
As my big sister, you don't even have a choice.
No, I really didn't.
Because I would have disturbed her.
Really
and then
didn't.
if I don't finish disturbing her, I will disturb her husband. Because low-key, I've recruited him. He doesn't know.
I don't even know how you did this. All I know is ever since I went for your wedding, my husband and Yele, that's a good one.
Yes.
That's my guy. Okay, dear, if you say so.
No, so I'm very happy. Like, this is going to, more than anything, it will shed a lot of light on how important you are to the world, your job, your industry, and hopefully I'm praying that we've talked about marriage, we talked about film, we talked about coming of age, we talked about so many different things. I am praying that the people that will hear it will not just hear it, but it will actually manifest and have impact. Because that is what this is all about. So thank God for bringing you here, and I hope you'll come back one day.
Well, why not? As you said, no, like as if I really have choice.
I'm happy we caught this on camera. All right. Love you guys. And as always, we have the floor. Bye. Oh, that was juicy. It was very juicy. God, it's you. It's you, God.